Hello pupil, I hope you are doing well at home. Let us learn mathematics. Today we are going to learn about division, and we are going to learn about how to divide decimals, division of decimals. Now we are very much clear, or you are very much familiar with doing divisions with whole numbers. So today we are taking on how to divide numbers with the decimals. Now, having had familiarized ourselves with decimal numbers, today we are going to take on division of numbers after we have learned how to multiply the decimals. Now, take the first case here. We have got 2.5 divided by 0.05. The second one will be 0.72 divided by 0.003. Then the last one will be 4.2 divided by 0.07. Welcome, let us enjoy the lesson. Now, given division of decimals, we are not going to accomplish our objectives without getting to use the place value chart. The place value chart is very much important during any operations with the decimals. Now, the first thing to do when you've been given a question like 2.5 divided by 0.5, dear pupil, you will first of all take this number, insert it in the place value chart as our last lessons had been given or shown. Now, given a number 2.5, it will be very much easier to insert it in the place value chart as just begin with the decimal point. Then on the right or on the left, you will see the number on the left, on the right of the decimal or on the left of the decimal. The right number on the right hand side of the decimal is number 5. Then the number at the back or behind the decimal point is number 2. Now, as we had learned about how to read this number in words, today our reading and writing the decimal numbers in words is going to help us to do the division of decimals. Now, let us read this number together. This number is read as 2.5. 2.5. Alternatively, we read this number as, or we can read this number as 2 5 tenths. 2 5 tenths. Now, we are going to take into account the second alternative of reading and writing this number in words. 2 5 tenths can be written as follows. Can be written as 2 5 tenths, 2 5 tenths, which can be read as 25 tenths. Can be read as 25 tenths. 2 5 tenths can be read as 25 tenths. So our 2.5 tenths or 25 tenths can be written in fraction as 25 over 10. Now, what have we done here? We have changed the decimal numbers into fractions. Divide by. Let us do the same to this one here. Take that number and insert it in the place value chart. Decimal point. On the right hand side, there is number 5. Then on the left hand side, there is number 0. On the right hand side of the place value chart, there are the decimal numbers. On the left hand side of the place value chart, there are whole numbers. Now, let us read this number as it is shown in the place value chart. 0.5 0.5. Alternatively, or we say technically, you can read this number as 0 and 5 tenths. 0 and 5 tenths. Let us write 0 and 5 tenths as a fraction. You have 0 and 5 tenths. 0 and 5 tenths. Now, 0 is trailing, is behind a number. It becomes valueless. There is no reason why we have to write 0 behind a number. So, our number is simply 5 tenths. 5 tenths. 5 over 10. So, we have changed 2.5 into fraction. We have also made 0.5 to become a fraction, as shown. Now, after this, you will remember in our last episodes, dear viewer, this is now a fraction divided by a fraction. Now, all the steps which were followed when dividing the fractions will also apply here. So we are going to take 25 all over 10. Remember, the division sign changes into multiplication. Do you remember what we did? We made 10 to assume the position of 5. Then 5 assumed the position of number 10. That is to say, denominator became the numerator while the numerator became the denominator. That is called reciprocating. We are going to find the reciprocal of number 5 all over 10. The reciprocal of the fraction 5 over 10. What will be the reciprocal of 5 over 10? The reciprocal of 5 over 10 will be 10 all over 5. Now, after we have reciprocated, we are going to check whether there are common factors to simplify our fraction. Check whether there are common factors to simplify our fraction. Now, let us check vertically, or diagonally. Diagonally, you can see 10 can go into 10 times 1, and 10 can go into 10 times 1. Let us check diagonally again. What is the common factor for number 5 and number 25? It is number 5. Number 5 goes into 5 times 1, and 5 goes into 25 times 5. Now let us see whether there is any further simplification. Take your time. If there isn't, then let us come to see whether we can multiply the numerators. 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. All over the denominators, 1 times 1 is equal to 1. Now, any number which has been expressed out of 1 becomes the same number. Any number expressed out of 1 becomes the same number. I mean this. Any number over 1 is equals to the same number. Take number 10 over 1, dear pupil. The answer becomes 10. Take number 15 all over 1. The simplest answer here is number 15. I hope you have understood me. Therefore, 5 all over 1 becomes what? Becomes number 5. Therefore, if you divide 2.5 by 0.5, your answer will be 5. Let's take the second example. 0.72 divided by 0.003. Dear viewer, the same steps we have followed in doing the first example will also take effect in the second example. Now, take the number 0.72 and insert it in the place value chart to help you read the number and write it as a fraction as we did prior. Now let's take decimal point, write number 0, write number 7 and 2. Let us read the number together. Let us read 0.72. That is the simplest way of reading the number. Then let us take the other alternative way of reading the number. Read it as 0 and 72 hundredths. 0 and 72 hundredths. Simply just read the number as 72 hundredths, because 0 takes no value, so there is no need of reading it as 0 and 72 hundredths. So we are going to write it as 72 hundredths, written like that. The hundred, 72 hundredths is 72 over 100. Divided by, take number 0.003, insert it in the place value chart to help you read the number and change it into the fraction. 0, decimal point, 0, then 3. So we have, let's read this one together, simply as 0.003. 0.003. That is the simplest way of reading it. Now, the other alternative way, we can read this number as 0 and 3 thousandths. 0 and 3 thousandths. There is no need of saying 0 and 003 thousandths, because this zeros here has got no value. There is no need of mentioning them. So simply say 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths, written as 3 out of 1,000. 3 out of 1,000. Where did we get the 1,000 from? The 1,000 comes from the last digit, the name of the last place value of our decimal number. 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths. Therefore, the same way we did division of fraction will take place. You have 72 all over 100. Change the division sign into multiplication. Find the reciprocal of 3 over 1,000, which shall be 1,000 all over 3. Then let us simplify where it is possible. 3 goes into 3 times 1. Can 3 go into 72? Check out. Can 3 go into 72? Into 7 times 2, which is 6. Take away 1, drop number 2. How many times can 3 go into 12? Times 4, which is 12. Alright. So 3 can go into 72 times 24. Then 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So we have the numerators 24 times 10. 24 times 10 times 10 is equal to 240 over 1. Remember what we had discussed earlier on, that any number over 1 is the same number. Therefore, 0.72 divided by 0.003, the answer will be 240. Let us get to the last example before I leave for you a task to perform. The third one, 4.2 divided by 0.07. Right? Let's take the number and insert them in the place value chart accordingly. Now we have number 4.2. There is 4.2 will be inserted like that. So let us read it together. 4.2 can be read as 4.2 the way we have read it, but in the other alternative way we can read it as 4 and 2 tenths. 4 and 2 tenths, or just say 42 tenths, 42 tenths, 4 and 2 tenths, or 42 tenths. So write 42 tenths divide by, which number will this one be? When we put it in the place value chart, how will we read it, or what will it read? Therefore we have 0, decimal point, 0 and 7. Let us read it together. 0.07, or the other alternative way of writing it as a fraction, read it as 0 and 07, 0 and 07, but not really. Read it as 7 hundredths, 7 hundredths. This one is no digit, there is a digit. I mean valueless digit and valueless digit, then a digit with a value. So say 7 hundredths, 7 hundredths. Therefore, going to write it as 7 hundredths, 7 all over 100. So the same way we did division with the fractions will follow. Change the division sign into multiplication. Immediately 7 over 100 becomes 100 over 7. That is called reciprocating. We have reciprocated the fraction. Therefore, let us see whether there is a common factor for 7 and 42. Can 7 go into 7? Yes, times 1. Can 7 go into 42? 6 times. Then 0 cancels 0. Let's see whether we can multiply the numerator. 6 times 1 is equals to 6. Then 1 times 1 is 1. Therefore, as we had earlier on stated, that any number over 1 is the same number. Therefore, 4.2 divided by 0.07 will be 6. Now, let me give you the following tasks to perform. The first one, try to do the following. Do the following to see whether you have understood what has been taught to you today. So I hope you are going to remember to follow the simplest steps we have done through from number 1, 2, and 3 to help you perform what is before you. Now, until we meet again,